You know, Mike kind of knows that we're fragile birds, so I've seen him give it to people a lot harder than he gives it to us. Actually, in the NoFX camp, Hefe just murders us. Like, he's just ruthless against us, and everything's fuck, police brutality. That he imitates my voice, you know, and yeah. So Hefe must have beef with me. I got to sort that out. I don't claim the set because it would make people angry, but I don't like drink on the road or do anything like that. Justin drinks, and Pat and Chris have never had a drink in their life, so I guess they're the ones. If you're not now, you never were. They can claim that set, but rather than be in a gang that I'm not allowed to be in, I'd rather just be honest. When we first met Tom Morello in 1999, he had talked to me about the early parts of Rage Against the Machine, and one of the things that they did as a band was individually made lists of goals that they wanted to achieve. And you know, he said, like, you know, I want to paint the White House black, you know, like crazy things, but he also talked about things that would make him at the end of the day feel like they were a successful band. And being music in an NHL game was on my list, so I got to check one of the things off. I thought that was cool. Yeah, I mean, like for sure, like I played that game, but Suicide Machines own that. I mean, I feel like anyone who talks about Tony Hawk talks about that. Like that song, that's the Tony Hawk song. Interesting fact about Zack Dela Rocha, the best ping pong player you will ever meet. You have to beat members of the crew and members of the band before you're allowed to play Zack. He's that good. Like, he won't waste his time on you unless he's like, okay, you've beat Timmy C, all right, maybe you can get a shot at me. He said that he's lost once to John McEnroe. There you go. Right now, the most important young punk rock band is Hostage Calm. My definition of punk rock is not a sonic definition as much as it is an aesthetic definition. And you know, whether it's the Clash or the Dead Kennedys, the bands that I grew up on were bands that, at the core of that, they wanted to be a band that was about the people. And I feel like Hostage Calm is that band. The Clash. I love Crass. I think they're tremendously important, but the Clash are the only band ever. I think Biggie, because I just am a sucker for the pop song, and he definitely loved choruses, and I'm down with that. It wasn't that long ago. It was probably the Menzingers. Might have been in Chicago. Yeah, I think it was the Menzingers. It was a crazy time. Like, we were in the studio making Mobilize when September 11th happened, and at that time, you know, Hot Topic was still like kind of a new store, you know? I remember getting a call from them saying like, yo, we're taking everything out of the store. And I was just like, really? Like, but you're the one-stop shop for all the alternative needs. Like, what are the punks gonna do, you know? And then like it extrapolated from there to getting this list of songs that would not be played on the radio, and like our band name starts with A, like we were at the top of it. And then there was a moment where we said like, are we doing the right thing? That moment was quickly thrown to the wayside, and the focus became, we're clearly doing the right thing. We need to do this now more than ever because they're outwardly trying to silence things. You hear about things like South America, you hear things about like Eastern Europe, and most of that comes from when the language barrier exceeds like any chance of communication. Like, these kids were shaking the van and just tossing us around, and like I was like, do they want to kill us or do they love us? Like, you can't tell. I think that most of the rumors early on about our monetary status were very funny to see. And I remember these kids like on the internet got a hold of a one sheet for A New Kind of Army, and you know, we had sold 100,000 copies, and they were going and like talking like, yeah, they sold 100,000 copies at $15 a piece. That's $15 million.
I'm Tay. This is Tuesdays with Tay. Tay, Are you the biggest nerd in the office? If not, who is and why? I don't think I'm the biggest nerd.
Now, they're only $1, and when you go up in the club with this milky ass bracelet on, you'll be shining, you'll be shimmering, you'll be glistening, you'll be glowing like the moon and the stars in the sky, boys. You know what I'm saying?